TheKobeShow's in action.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You know this is TOMEOTV, and we got a big tele-digital episode for you guys, man, featuring both of us. We're going to be talking about the latest news in the coronavirus update, latest stuff going around the world, man. We're bringing it to you digital because we're doing a quarantine-style episode.
Yeah, straight from the homes of your host, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing it right here. Cozy Cam here, Kobe Cam here.
Yes, sir, guys. And so, right now, Trump administration issued a coronavirus update. And basically, right now, we are on day 7 of the 15-day, social distancing. They're talking about the precaution program. So
yeah, that was really big. Yeah. You was watching it. I didn't get a chance to catch it.
Yeah, exactly, man. And the update was huge. There's a lot of information, so we're gonna release it to you guys. Some of the info right now. So right now, we're waiting on the Senate to approve Trump's stimulus package. And I know you got some ideas about that. Basically, those checks that they want to send out early April to help out, to fight this virus.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. It was sounding too good to be true at first, man.
Yeah, I mean, but since so many Americans are going to be staying at home for these next few weeks, I feel like the government can easily dish out this program, considering the amount of billions that the government is making through taxes and whatnot, through businesses and whatnot. So this is definitely going to be helpful. And that's what taxes are about, man. Like me, bro. Personally, for an economy and basically a country to be healthy, financially, and being able to improve its own country, taxes have to be in place. Obviously they can't be too high, of course, right? Because you also want to have some of your own freedoms to spend, but it's got to be a decent number so we can grow as a community, and government's got to. Got to take those taxes and put them in the right places. This is the ideal point. What do you feel about that?
Well, it's a real mouthful, honestly, considering somebody who's not really into all that. Or I didn't even watch it, so I didn't know the way they were setting it up, how they're taking care of it. But I've heard about that package, and now we're all supposed to get it early April or something like that. Sounded too good to be true, but you're right. Considering the circumstances going on, a lot of people are gonna need something, since they're going off of work for a while and they're all just dipping into whatever they can to take care of expenses that are, needed for these next few weeks. What else did we learn from that? There's a couple more things that they're showing as in evolving the vaccine towards the coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, apparently there's a pretty decent update on that. They found out a drug that the pharmaceuticals have been using for quite a few decades to treat other conditions, other diseases and whatnot. They're testing this specific drug called hydroxychloroquine, which I'm sure you already heard of yourself.
Told me about it earlier.
So basically, yeah, they're conducting tests right now as we speak. And, the pharmaceutical industry, the doctors believe that this drug, while they do not have a vaccine yet for the coronavirus, at least, during an immediate time, at least they can have maybe some kind of drug to treat it, to offset the effects a little bit. And when the vaccine comes along, they can implement that, instead of doing nothing. So I feel like, that's good step, in basically fighting this virus right now.
Interesting, yeah. And a lot has changed from episode 1. A lot of stuff's changed. We talked about a lot in the coronavirus on episode 1, and literally that was just posted last night, and it was recorded the first week of April. So much has changed. There was about 90,000 cases then. How many are now right now? Do you know?
So right now I believe there's about 120,000 cases. There could be maybe 160,000. The deaths I think are about 12,000 right now. So based on our previous research, it seems, because remember the previous research stated that we concluded that the death rate was about around 3 to 4%. If that's the case, that there's 12K deaths right now among 120,000 or so cases, that means the death rate has slightly increased. Okay, ever so
Not
slightly.
significant enough to really.
Yeah, I guess not alarmingly significant. So I mean,
But a lot has changed from that episode. Like literally, if you think about it, there was so many things that became outdated in that episode. So
exactly,
much.
man. And that's why, guys, everybody watching the Kobe Show right now,
Coming right at you with this.
this
The necessity, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly why we're shooting it today, March 22nd, guys, 2020. We're trying to give you guys the latest updates. We're doing some research on our end. We're trying to find the good sources. See what's going on, and and we're putting together both of our opinions pretty much.
We got a couple questions for each other that we really want to get into. We're gonna hit each other with that. I got a lot on my plate, Cameo. Let's get into that.
Before we do that, let me just let the viewers know some of the few extra key points announced during the update of the coronavirus by the administration. Okay, so let's go along these quickly. So basically, right now, there's companies out there that are working with the administration basically to produce equipment every day. They've already dispatched them out, and they're producing it daily, simultaneously doing both those things daily. So, and we're talking about stuff like surgical face masks, basically the face helmets, the
Like a lot of goods.
Yeah, the gowns, those basically, I think they call them PPOE, something protective equipment, something like that. But anyway, next is basically some companies are reaching out to Trump to help create certain technologies like ventilators. I'm not sure for what use, but basically for hospitals, which will be most likely manufactured by either Ford or General Motors, companies that have some experience in this, that are able to do it, because he's saying that he doesn't want to nationalize certain products that the United States needs now, because he's looking for the people who know what they're doing, producing the products, to be helpful by reaching out to him, instead of him picking himself on his opinion, who should do it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And that's pretty much it, man. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's change it up a bit here.
Tommy over here schooling us on the coronavirus. Me, I'm one of those guys who knows this much. But with Tommy over here learning a lot more, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into some questions.
Yep, that's it, man. Let's get into it, man. So here we are, guys. We're doing an interview style questions where basically we don't know what questions we're going to ask each other, and it's going to be random. Okay? So
yeah, we're gonna get some random questions going in, some quick stuff. Got a couple things on my plate. Tommy got a couple things on his plate. Let's get it going.
Yes, sir, man.
Quarantine style.
Beautiful, and I'm loving this, man. I'm loving this impromptu answer style right here. And these questions were written, but this answers, man, we don't know what to expect, man. So, here we go, bro. Here we go. Are you ready for the first question?
You're filming?
All right, man. So,
Oh.
I'm going to ask you some questions to dig deeper about you as a person and who you are. All right, man?
Ooh. He's trying to get deep into the Kobe realm.
So here we go. We're opening up the matrix a bit here. So let me ask you, man, Kobe. Nothing serious here, man. We're just opening up. So, let me know. I'm curious, and let the viewers know what embarrasses you the most in front of other people, if you have anything. And feel free to pass up on any question.
Oh, awesome. So the biggest embarrassment to me is claiming I'm going to do something and completely, boom, failing at it, which is something I'm very good at not doing in life. I'm going to be honest with you there. I like to say I'm going to do things and put in that 200% effort to make sure I get it done, man. But I'll be super embarrassed if I fail that. Like if I'm talking my crap right there, telling you, if you're going to play ball, I'm going to zip you, 21 zip. And then I get fully destroyed. That's embarrassing because, you're not a man of your word. You completely ruling out being a man of your word. That's very embarrassing. And I think for any man, that's it right there.
Hey, man, I got to say that's a pretty peculiar answer right there. I would actually have to agree that is very, very embarrassing, especially like,
Ooh, that's an L right there.
And especially,
Big one.
you kind of feel like, you let yourself down as well.
Yep, let yourself down, and other people are looking at you like, this dude was just talking his
Hey,
talking
man.
his mess and back it up.
But look, guys, if you guys watched episode 1, I think it was, or behind the scenes, if you guys don't know, me and Kobe played one-on-one, and I absolutely demolished him about 20 to like some very low score he got. Nah, man. You know I beat you, man. Come on, man. You gotta man up.
He cannot shoot at all. He called me out after we was hanging out to film some of his music stuff, and I came in after work, a long day. No excuses. He beat me. I couldn't win that night. I didn't have it in me. But I promised him $100 in the next game. He's not ready for that. He can't shoot. You can't win if you can't shoot.
So check this out, man, and guys.
We're gonna have this. We're gonna have this video set up, ladies and gentlemen, and I won't talk about it anymore. It's gonna go down. Just know, TOMEOTV versus Lewis Kobe.
And check this out, man. So like I said, man, and I agree with what you said before, but in this case, if you still lose, don't feel embarrassed because you played one of the greats in basketball. I'm just letting you know right now.
Tomeo is one of the greats. Now I switched to the cozy cam because it's my turn for a question. I'm gonna get a cozy question going on here.
He's better work these damn cameras, man. Just so you guys know, he's got a 2017 Macbook. Yo, and I'm laughing my ass over here. I got a freaking almost 2020 Lenovo, man. Step your laptop game up, bro.
He's talking his game. That's cool. We're gonna do a PC test. We're gonna do a speed test for our computers. My computer is gonna blow yours out of the water, man. My joint starts up like this. You won't even see it coming. It's gonna start up.
Now when it comes to video specs, baby.
Video specs fine. Mine is the speed of lightning, man.
I got that RTX, man. I got that RTX. Get real.
When we was filming the Kobe show, I was watching him restart his computer. He was bragging about a 30-second load up. I'm like, come on, man.
Hey, man, my computer loads it in a split second.
I got a question for you. Let's go, bro. We're gonna go quarantine style with this question. Look, consider the situation of this time. If you were quarantined with any celebrity in the world at home for the next 2 weeks, who would it be?
Man, great question, man. Considering 2 weeks, the first thought that pops into my mind, I would have to say some female celebrity, probably somebody like Halle Berry.
Ooh, you gotta pick one. Who you going with?
Somebody like that, Halle Berry or man, that's probably the first name that comes to mind. Let me think of any other female celebrities that I would love to spend 2 weeks with. Probably all the female celebrities, to be honest, but
you go quarantine yourself with
a couple. But you know what? Let's start out with Halle Berry for now.
Halle Berry. Okay, 2 weeks with Halle Berry. Halle Berry, hit him up.
I wish I come up with some more names now, but yeah, let's do this.
Got one down.
Let's get this quarantine set up. All right, man.
Yeah.
So, Luz, let's continue into some more questions, digging deeper into who you are. So, let me ask you, what are you bad at, currently, or stuff you thought of before, but would like to learn more about in general now?
What I would like to learn more about.
Something that you're bad at, but you want to learn more about.
Okay. So currently, I'm working with a lot of editing software. Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Photoshop. But I've recently switched over from Photoshop to what Tomeo insisted me to get onto, which is Affinity Photo, which is excellent. I believe it's like the best alternative to Photoshop. I wish I could gain so much knowledge that I know I will have in the next year or two today. Because all the growing that I'm gonna do within the next year with all the tech stuff, I wish I will learn it faster. I wish I knew the route to get straight into it, being the pro I will be in a year or two.
And that's definitely something great to learn, because technology is always changing, man. And if we can stay up to date with the stuff that we like to do, challenge ourselves a little bit to learn as much as we can. At the same time, have fun. That's great.
Definitely. It's my turn for the questiones. So I was gonna get into some business stuff. There's an interesting idea about the economic changes that will happen after all this blows over, if anytime soon. What do you think the economy will look like after post-corona? You know, a lot of businesses shutting down, a lot of businesses in general a lot of businesses are panicking and laying employees off and doing so much. How do you think the world will change economically after this?
That's a great question. Honestly, I'm glad that you asked me that, because I do have some ideas how as a nation, and not only as United States, but basically how the world can recover and honestly get even better from this. I feel the economy can grow even larger to magnitudes that is unthinkable now, even only to me, and as we're talking about it, as it goes out there. So basically, you know, right now you have to understand that we're an amazing like internet world as well. So,
yeah, definitely.
So we have a huge opportunity, basically, to boost the internet even more right now than it has been, and we're already doing that. All the people quarantined, all the millions around the world. You know what I'm saying? We can continue coming up with products on the internet, continue socializing in a positive way with ourselves.
Sound like you're brainstorming ideas for stuff like that.
Because, you know, I feel that's the truth. You know what I mean? We have this incredible platform that is the internet. And as you know,
Yes.
as a lot of you guys know out there, you know, we can use the internet for good, and we can use it for bad.
So many places, so
and
many
we
regions.
can use it for in between as well. You know what I mean? So basically, I have an idea for, say, a business like the NBA. Right now, the NBA has been suspended, obviously. So I have a crazy idea, basically, that the NBA, what the commissioner Adam Silver can do is create a digital NBA league right now. And what I mean by that is no physical fans in attendance. The games will simply be played and broadcasted to the internet. So not only is this going to be, you know, safer, you know, for the elderly or whatnot, however you're looking at this virus, but this also opens up business strategies for the NBA where they don't have to worry about stadium liabilities and lawsuits. So basically, to branch out on that a little bit more, is, you know, NBA's got to get creative. You know, the other sports leagues got to become creative, and you know, this is for the long term, man. For the long term. You know, the 2K digital market is huge, right?
Yeah, 2K is insane.
Yeah, and look at it like this: the 2K doesn't have to quarantine. You know what I mean? Their game is running; people can get on it any time. You know?
They do have a league. They do have a league, the 2K league.
Well, maybe they'll suspend the 2K league. You know, but I'm talking about as a whole 2K. There's millions and millions of people playing it.
Definitely.
The 2K league is really only run by, you know, a few hundred people, maybe, or I'll say maybe 1,000 at most.
Yeah, we don't have knowledge on what they're doing with that.
So what I'm trying to say is the internet makes everything widespread, and a digital product makes everything widespread, like a 2K, like a video game, you know, like an audio book, like an ebook. You know what I'm saying? Like movies, basically. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is basically, you know, you got to get creative right now, and when the government and you know, the medical industry or whoever other industries out there, you know, who have good ideas, who say it's time to, you know, stop wearing the face mask, you know, we can go back to as we were a few weeks ago,
get things rolling,
or a few months ago, then, you know, I mean, we'll do that, and we'll just, you know, get back on pace. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the economy can even continue growing even during this quarantine, man. You know, because if the government is going to send us the stimulus package, we're going to be spending money that's going to go back into the economy once again. So people got to understand this, man. Okay, so all right, so let me ask you a question now, okay? Let's keep this segment moving. So, all right, let's dig deeper into who you are, and I would ask you, so when you were younger, what did you want to be in life?
Architect. I was a young man. I believe the only time I considered a career seriously was around high school. I loved architecture. Through gaming and through a lot of other visual concepts, I fell in love with that, you know, idea of building, creating, and you know, starting stuff from scratch and having it something magnificent from the very end. But nowadays, I look at that as the Kobe Show. I've been building on it and growing it and starting it from scratch to become the beautiful baby we have here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe now that I'm adding this in. The Kobe Show is my baby starting from the jump, and you all need to support it and love it and criticize it for us to grow. But that is definitely was something that I was into when I was young. I was literally into that. I wanted to be an architect. But now I want to be an architect of the Kobe Show, build it up.
That's dope, man. I appreciate that. And look, man, if you really feel the same way about architecture like you did in the past, you can always study it on the side. But
yeah, it's a monster. It's a monster, man. That field.
At the end of the day, it's up to you. For some people, that could be too much work. You know what I'm saying? For some people, they might love it enough to keep working as much as possible. So I guess you got to find...
Your passion is never too much work, ever. Yeah, exactly. Anything that's a passion is just learning, growing, and constant joy, literally. If you're doing what you love, you don't work a day in your life, and that's the truest words I've ever heard. Yeah, man, and I would say that that's an ideal situation, to find something you're truly passionate about, and that you wake up every day to want to do it. And sometimes... I got to be honest. Sometimes you might not know what that is until you maybe discover it in the future, even. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody knows it. Nobody's gonna know it from the jump, unless you're a basketball player. A lot of ballers know what they were doing from the jump. A lot of people change paths.
And look at it like this. You can have multiple passions as well. It doesn't got to be one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, having a show like this could be a true passion. We keep it going, and we could add stuff in the future as well.
Production. Production is the main thing that really excites me about this. Having all the software taken care of, the camera stuff, the editing, everything. That's really something that I found myself to be passionate about.
Yeah, and I'm definitely loving technology more and more every day as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, like, I'm at like a slightly different angle where like I look at it more like, I guess, introspectively a little bit, or like from more angles where I feel like your passion can also grow for something that you didn't know exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like this tech we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Or growing a podcast technology, or coming up with innovative ways to do a show. And like I said, you could pick up on other passions from different other fields in the future as well. You know what I mean? And for me, as you know, music is one of my passions, and I will always continue. Always continue.
In his soul.
Yeah, man. And I will always continue.
He's a soul man.
And I will always
music
continue
is in his soul.
That,
it's in his rhythm. Sorry for cutting you off there, but now my question is coming up to you. What is your favorite thing about the Kobe Show? Working on it and all the stuff that you do to get to this point. What's your favorite part that maybe coming up to this part, or all the stuff that we're doing right now? What is your favorite thing about the Kobe Show?
And my favorite thing, man, it's just relieving my...
Ladies and gentlemen, that's created material.
My favorite thing is revealing my gains in the gym, baby.
In the gym? What gains? Come on now.
Look at that, man.
We're in the gym? We're in the gym.
I'm sorry for showing that to all you dudes out there, man, but just in case any females are watching, you know what I mean? But anyway, man,
Gentlemen, time for the favorite part. Show off to the ladies what he got.
Hey, man, like I said, man, Halle Berry might be watching, but anyway, like I was talking about. So basically, as far as this show, man, like I said, I love brainstorming ideas, for coming up what we can do for the next episode. For me, that's enjoyment. It's straight up, and being able to develop that, because honestly, it's not even challenging to me, brainstorming, because you figure out what you want to talk about, and you realize that quickly. You know what I mean? And then all you got to do is just note it down, research some information, barely even rehearse it, because you got that energy to go. You know what I mean? So that's one aspect I love. And of course, you know what I mean? I love basically, learning new programs. Like I said, I just learned DaVinci Resolve, and I really recommend it to all you video editors out there. Trust me, I love Adobe Premiere Pro as well. I think it's a very solid program, but I like the workflow, the interface. I feel that it's slightly quicker with my Lenovo, the DaVinci Resolve, and basically, I also didn't really like the pricing plan too much of Adobe Premiere Pro. $30 a month, could be a lot for people starting out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's the worst price point, but I feel that they could reduce it. I feel like maybe $14.99.
It's all name to it. It's Apple, so you can't really expect them.
And also basically what else I like to do, I love learning about the audio and video tech side to the show. You know what I mean? How can we make our audio sound better? How can we, what kind of cameras can we research in the future? What kind of software? What kind of live switchers are out there on the market? To be able to connect multiple video sources, like what you're using, what Kobe's using right now. Is basically he's using the Atem Mini live switcher. He's got 2 cameras connected to it. But anyway, man. So let me ask you a question now, okay?
Quicker on the zoom, on the better camera. Quicker zoom up on the Zoom H6. These are just such beautiful pieces of equipment.
Way too beautiful, man. But not beautiful than Halle Berry though. And you got to be honest with that.
Quarantine partner. But you had something coming up. What you had for me, buddy?
All right. So let me dig a little bit deeper, and let me ask you this. So basically, I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So what food will you absolutely not, under any circumstance, eat? Take your time with this one.
On any circumstances. I'll eat almost anything. I'm a eater, man. I'm a skinny man whose fast metabolism keeps him from gaining weight.
Oh, so
yeah. There's almost nothing I won't eat.
Okay, so answer me this: what would you want to eat the most right now? And be honest.
Tomeo is a man of mystery, but we all know what this guy's alluding to.
Yo. Oh my goodness, I'm not saying nothing, man. What are you talking about there?
I'm gonna say what you'll have your plate full. I'm gonna say what you'll have your plate full with on that 2 weeks with Halle Berry on quarantine.
Yeah, believe me, I know already, man. You don't gotta tell me this.
Oh, Tomeo in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Give a like for his mysteriousness, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, definitely, man. Give me a like there, man. Do something in the comments down below.
And rate his 6-pack from 1 through 10. Give it a rate.
And you don't want to see that 6-pack anymore. It's way too strong, man. Way too beautiful. All right, man. So you want to go into the NBA and sports update? And, regarding the coronavirus?
It's actually the most unexpected about the NBA. Literally a week and a half after we filmed episode 1, we were doing our predictions, and in episode 2 we were talking about rookie of the year race, and episode 3 we didn't really talk about NBA, but something happened crazy 1 week and a half later. They suspended NBA season, which really put a stint on our predictions, put a stint on our who's going to win this, who's going to win that, and now we have to clear it up. We have to talk about what we missed out on and what is going to change now. We're going to get into that right now with Tomeo.
Yep, let's get into it.
All right, and scene.
So basically, the latest, that I've read in the NBA news is so the players right now are still due to get their next paycheck on April 1st, apparently.
Oh, we're not worried about their money flow. We're worried about our money flow. These guys are getting paid fine. I don't want to hear it.
But the thing is, they also mentioned that they're not sure if they're going to get their check on April 15.
Listen, these guys are well paid. If they're not getting their NBA checks, they're getting their sponsorship checks. They're getting their Nike, they're getting their Puma, they're getting their Beats, they're getting their JBL. They're getting paid fine. We don't got to worry about them. But we have to worry about our predictions.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. They're still making money from other sources.
Yeah, those guys are well taken care of, man. I heard Zion. One thing I heard he was paying. I think it was the coaching staff or the arenas. The people that are in the arena. I heard he was paying their salary or something like that for the time missed on the coronavirus.
Yeah,
you can fact check me on that.
Yeah, and that's definitely big, man. You know, if companies can step up, you know, other companies that are, you know, suspending their business practices right now, I'm talking about the non-essentials. You know, and maybe hopefully the government can actually. I actually heard in the update that the government is actually working with a lot of these corporations, a lot of these small businesses to help actually offset this financial issue. You're talking about paying, you know, the essential workers, you know, while they are, you know, quarantined at home. So, you know, this could be a huge update in the coming, you know, any day really.
I know, it's insane, bro. Actually insane. And so much has changed. So much has been changing. It's ridiculous. So much unexpected things happening. So much curveballs we've been hit with, especially here at the Kobe Show. What is gonna happen to this NBA season? We're gonna jump straight into the finals. What are your predictions on that?
You know, as far as the NBA, man, I got an idea. This is kind of what I was referring to earlier when I talked about NBA got to get creative and kind of do a 2K, you know, and play with no physical fans and broadcast the games.
Oh yeah, LeBron he straight up downplayed that. At first, before the season even was suspended, he came out and said, "No fans, not playing with them."
Wow. Well, in my opinion, that's really close-minded of LeBron. And what I'm saying in terms of that is that you got to think about the internet. Okay, the internet has millions of more fans than a stadium can ever pack. So he's got to think more creatively. I'm sorry, but that's not an excuse right there.
That wasn't a good idea, OBJ. But you gotta think about how I don't think the world was taking it as serious back then at the time. Not everybody knew the seriousness or the actual, you know, horror of it.
So basically, what I want to say is, my point is just to branch out what I was saying to earlier. So in my opinion, the NBA should get all the players tested, and those who have the virus should be quarantined. And those who do not have it should be cleared for digital broadcast play with no physical fans and no need for an arena. They can literally play these games in practice facilities. It will just be the players, just the personnel, the refs, maybe some watchers on the side, and then of course the broadcast. That's still about 50 people in one building sweating all over each other, regardless, not tested positive. I don't think it's a good idea. They would just have to limit it then to below 50. That's not a big deal. Just get the broadcast guys, the tech guys, the coaches, maybe a few other people. That's it, man. There's no need for any more. That's pretty much it. Very simple. And basically, this is going to be broadcasted to the internet, on YouTube, anywhere, man. Any huge broadcast, advertised anywhere, really, with the amount of partnerships the NBA has. And some games, I think they should put up for free, and others can be watched for an affordable price. You know, possibly. You know, if the NBA needs a little bit of income, we can understand that. So I feel like this would really boost the NBA right now. This would be a huge look for the NBA, regardless of what LeBron James is saying. You know, don't matter how famous somebody is. You know what I mean? You know, it doesn't mean that they're right. You know, it's just his opinion. And in my opinion, I feel like he's very close-minded in that regard. He's really forgetting about the biggest impact, which is the internet. Okay, look at NBA 2K. Okay, a case can be made that NBA 2K is larger than the NBA, because anybody can play it. Anybody can be, you know, grinding on a video game.
2K is huge, man. 2K is definitely huge. So what does that stand for? What do you think will happen for the rest of the season? Personally,
go ahead.
Personally, I think what they should do, no matter what, they got to finish the season. It's a historic season, no matter what, because since the lockout, it's the most significant season where things change, and it's the most historic thing. So they got to continue the season. They have to, in my opinion, they have to continue it. You know, they should They should extend the finals date, whatever, June, put it into August. Make sure we play the rest of these games. Or we're just going to jump straight into a playoffs with the current standings. And then, in my opinion, that's a washed up championship for whoever wins. And the dynamic of the whole playoffs could change for the rest of the season. So it's just not fair to teams. It's not fair to Zion, who should make the playoffs. And, that would be a horrible idea, in my opinion, if they jump straight into the playoffs. I don't think that's a good idea. Show must go on. You must continue the rest of the season. It's about 12, 15 games for some teams, whatever. Got to get that going. Got to finish those games. And then have a valid playoffs and get to work with that.
I hear what you're saying. Some things I would point out.
Give me your thoughts.
I would point out to you that I think the most important thing right now is defeating the virus, finding out what's really going on with the virus.
Of course.
In my opinion.
Doing the same time.
Like I said, once government and any other agencies that hopefully are giving the honest information to people out there, because there's also conspiracies out there that think this may be a hoax, and I understand that too. Me, I'm the type of person that looks at it from as many angles as possible. I try not to choose really one side unless, of course, I feel completely passionate about it and I feel it's the right one. Otherwise, I'll be reading the right news, the fake news, whatever it is, just to get angles and decide for myself. So with that said, the virus is number one thing in my opinion. Let's get that straightened out. And I think it's a good idea to possibly jump into the playoff. Okay, for example, the timing is everything, Lewis. If the virus gets defeated, let's say in 1 month, I feel like based on the timing, why not go right into the playoffs? We understand certain dynamics has changed and teams were fighting for that 8th spot. But sometimes you got to take reality and just so you don't mess up the NBA schedule. You know what I mean?
It's a good take.
To take out those 10 games or whatever is left. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? So
that's a good take on it. I'm not gonna lie, it's a really good take the way you think about it. But it's actually it's actually watered down. You gotta at least agree with that. You can't believe that it's completely fair to the finals winner and everyone else involved in the playoffs of the champion. You gotta at least think about that, because if you're a team, think about the team that's in the 5th seed. They could have very well gotten 4th seed and gotten home court advantage. So in terms of fairness, it's definitely not fair to a bunch of teams. But it is the best course of action, in my opinion. You're right. If in a month, this is all done, we were taking things into account, and I believe that's good. That's good saying what you brought it up to.
I definitely hear what you're saying. I would just have to point this out. Very important. Basically, of course, the virus is the most important thing. Second, I feel like it's not going to be a washed-up championship ring because of this. If there's a team out there that wins the finals during this pandemic, after we beat the pandemic, I feel that's going to be a huge impact championship, regardless of who gets the seed, 4th, 5th seed, whatever, man. The dynamics of the playoff bracket's changing. I feel like that's of very little significance. I feel like the team that comes out on top, we as a nation fighting against this, if this thing is real, taking into account possible conspiracy theories. Whoever wins the championship, because we're all in this together, man. I feel like it's going to be a huge championship. This is my honest opinion.
It will be huge. In the sports world in general, it will be huge for all champions in the sports world. We're going to have the MLB, whoever wins that, the NBA Finals champion. Sports have been impacted heavily for this, to think about the safety of the fans and the employees of these businesses. Even companies like WWE Wrestling all over the world has been impacted largely by canceling their largest event of the year in Tampa, Florida, for the safety of fans and employees. Everything's been affected, and hopefully things get back on track soon. Is what I'm really hoping for, because we've never seen anything like this, and we hope to never again either.
Yeah, man. Definitely, man. So, I'm sending out everybody stay positive, guys.
Positive.
Keep working on your goals. Most important things, man. And obviously, just in case, this virus is, is slightly stronger than the flu. Just exercise those precautionary
Gotta
measures.
fight this virus. Gotta fight this little virus.
And guys,
Words from Tomeo.
keep watching those updates from the CDC or the Trump administration daily, guys.
Yeah.
Read up on this stuff. Not even on the updates, on your own terms, man. Guys, get on Google. Research, natural treatments for possibly flus or stuff related to the COVID-19 thing. You know what I mean, guys? Stay on top of your goals, man. Stay positive, man. Take precautionary steps and whatnot, and and let's move on, man.
Gotta move on, ladies
Show,
and gentlemen. Today's very
TOMEOTV.
special quarantine episode brought to you by the goods. Brought to you by the gentleman here from home. Stay safe, stay indoors, do your thing, everybody, and don't let anything discourage you.
Yes,
Tomeo signing out, Kobe signing out.
And don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Comment and subscribe.